The Ministry of Tarot channel. I'm Natasha. I'm going to be your hostess today. Ugh. I hope you didn't have the week I did. It was just bad all the way around. How come this isn't starting now? I've tried to start this like 3 times already.
How come this isn't starting?
Oh, okay, we are on. Welcome. This is your Psychic May monthly for the month of May 2025 for Aries. I'm going to be doing 12 different uploads or live broadcasts for each of the signs like I do every mid-month. So thank you for being with me. So we're going to use some new decks that I've already christened during private readings. The 6-card spread I usually use for the monthly is the first card. It will be the lessons from the past that you're going to be reminded of or utilize in the month of May. The second is the energy you're going to be sitting in, and then there's 4 predictive cards. Please like, share, and subscribe because I feel like that's an even exchange of energies, okay? Thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, I've been reading for over 35 years. I've been on YouTube for 6. And let's go. So the new deck that I'm going to be using is the Wizard of Oz deck, which is awesome. And let me see if I can open this. Oh, I did not open this yet. Okay, so we can wait for people to come into the room. Oh, there's 4 people already. Okay, so maybe I have to sage this. So, I don't know. I can answer some free questions if you want, if I can tap into Jenny. No? Okay. I just want to make sure that these are cleaned before we use them. You know, because so many people touch them during production, right? Nobody has questions? Okay. I do have a spirit guide. Her name is Jenny. She revealed herself to me when I was 40. I think 40 or 42. I can't remember. So sometimes she gets involved in the readings, you know, just nice. I'm starting a little bit earlier than I usually do. Hello. Because I've been up all night. Now, I've been seeing on TikToks that some people are saying that Sage invites the ones we don't speak of as represented by the number 15 card in the deck in Tarot, and that is not true. Ouija boards attract them, and it's not a good thing. We don't say the name of that card out loud, at least on my channel, because some of them name themselves that, so we don't want to summon any, right? But I thank you for being here today. So the deck that I am saging right now is called the Millennials deck. But I did try the Wizard of Oz deck for the first time during a private reading this past week. That's when someone contacted me about a missing person. So I felt drawn to that deck. I think I have like 220 decks now. Anyway, so there we go. And now we shall begin the monthly May. So again, for the primary, I'm using the Wizard of Oz deck. For clarifying, I'm using the Millennials Tarot. And if the clarifiers need clarifying, I'll probably use the Good Fortune Tarot. What's coming up for Aries in the month of May 2025? What is coming up for Aries in the month of May 2025? What's coming up for Aries in the month of May 2025? What's coming up for Aries in the month of May 2025? Remember, the first card is the lessons from the past, which you'll be utilizing in the month of May. And that would be the Nine of Spears in reverse. Now here it is in the upright. Now in the upright, the Nine of Spears, which is the Nine of Swords, is about having unnecessary worries that causes you insomnia, or, you know, just making mountains out of molehill. Basically, it's worries, right? And here, Dorothy can see that she's running out of time, and she's trapped in the Wicked Witch's castle, right? With it in reverse, it's great for you. Your lessons from the past that you're going to be utilizing in the May is that if you can stop yourself from worrying, you'll be saving yourself a lot of heartache and troubles, you know, especially to your emotionality. It's not, you know, having worries is not worth it. And usually they turn out to be little tiny molehills, right? The energy you're going to be sitting in May is the Four of Spears in reverse. Now, just as in the movie, you have this black and white or sepia for the time that she spends on Earth, on the farm, right? Because in the movie, this part is black and white. And then when you go to the land of Oz, it's in color, right? Now, there is a theory where, you know, which one is really her true world, right? So you have this in reverse. In the upright, it's someone who needs to recover, right, after a Three of Spears or Three of Swords. Now you're coming out of that recovery. A lot of air energy thus far. Now here are the four predictive cards. The Emperor in reverse. Now Virgos had this last month. You know, so we have to clarify, but this is someone who's kind of ruthless. You know, they rule over, they have higher status than you in some way. It could be a supervisor, a father figure, an older brother, an older sister, because it is in reverse. So it could be the opposite of male is female, right? But this is most likely a male, right? Yeah, someone in your sphere in May, that's not being fair, but we'll have to clarify whether that's a person or a situation. The next card you have is the Two of Bricks, which is the Two of Pentacles, right? Here you see Glenda, the Good Witch, and she's showing Dorothy all that she can create, right? In reverse, you may be trying to balance your budget and are having difficulty because it is under the Nine of Spears. This indicates that any money worries that you do have are probably, it's not in your head, but maybe it is because we're using the Wizard of Oz deck. They're not as bad as you think, okay? Or you're unable to weigh the pros and cons. But this indicates that you have nothing to worry about. You have a lot of reversals, man. Every single one is in reverse. That doesn't mean anything other than it's interesting to note. Here you have the Fool card in reverse. Here, this is the beginning of the movie. The tornado is building in the background. Okay. And it's before a big change, right? And then the last card you have that's predicted is you're going to have all your resources, and you probably already do, like Dorothy had, and the Lion had, and the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow. They always had these resources inside them. Somebody had to bring it out. But here, you can see it's not the true wizard, but it's a representation of the wizard. You know, wizard, as you remember from the movie. Hi, Utkarsh Pandey. We've already passed the time of free readings. I apologize, but here's your May. Okay, but you can get a private reading as well. So the Magician in the Upright, you know, this is where the big scary mask in that big hall, and the wizard is behind the curtain, but he hasn't revealed himself, right? But they went to the city of Oz so that they can get all these wishes granted, right? So he almost looks like a genie here, right? But the way the wishes, the genie egg comes out of the lantern is kind of like a tornado too. That's kind of interesting that it's represented that way in this deck. You have all the resources, and maybe the Emperor is wanting you to spend some of your resources. We still have to clarify. And then the Fool card is underneath the Four of Spears in reverse. You're healing, right? And maybe you're ready to begin something new, like a really big change. Okay? All right. You have a new beginning, nevertheless. But the energy you're sitting in is like, okay, my healing is over and now I have to move forward, right? Okay. We're going to be clarifying with the Millennial Tarot. So I kind of wanted to know who this Emperor is, right? What does the Emperor in reverse mean for Aries in the month of May 2025? What is the Emperor in reverse mean for Aries in May 2025? I heard Jenny, my spirit guide, say a shock to the system. So the Emperor, whoever the Emperor represents in your life, someone of higher status than you. You know, I'm not talking about caste. I'm talking about someone who's either older, has more authority than you, like a father, grandfather, older brother, supervisor, priest, you know. What's this Emperor in reverse for Aries in the month of May 2025? I feel like you're tired of something. Like you're at your wit's end, and it's something you can control. Like, for instance, if you're tired of being overweight, if you're overweight and you've been that way for a while, you're just tired of it and you're going to do something about it, and you have all the resources to do that. Maybe not gym membership, but it could be that. But you have walkways outside the park is just a mile away, and, stuff like that. You have the means to do it. Okay? So what is the Emperor in reverse? Remember I heard shock to the system? Here you have the Nine of Vibes, which looks like the Nine of Wands. But it says on edge, right? Somebody has you on edge. Someone's like kind of up your ass about stuff. And then you have the Five of Swag. Furlough. You may have somebody in your environment in May, an Emperor in reverse, who's kind of like I said, shocks you into using resources to make something happen, whether it's at work or in the neighborhood or at home, whoever the Emperor in reverse is to you. Okay? Now, a Five of Swag is the Five of Pentacles. You lose faith in them, okay? And they might threaten you with taking resources away from you, right? It's right next to the Recovering card. So I don't know if this person has been like that in the past, okay? A shock to the system, I heard, remember? So basically you have a jerk in your environment. So what's this new beginning? You're on the cusp of a brand new beginning, or because it's in reverse, you have there's a risk of you making a false step. But I don't think it's that because of the surrounding cards. But we'll clarify just to make sure. So I usually teach when I do this. What is the Fool card in reverse mean for Aries in the month of May 2025? What is the Fool card in reverse mean for Aries in May 2025? You have the Four of Feels, which is the Four of Cups. Binge watching in reverse. Remember how I said you were tired of something? You're on the cusp of a brand new beginning. But you're afraid of making a false move in a new beginning. And then you have the Hermit in reverse, which is in the upright off the grid. And it's right underneath the coming out of a time of rest. Coming out of a time where you were thinking about answers, what the answer to a question is, and now you have the answer. You will have the answer in May about how you should proceed in a new beginning. So it strikes me as well thought out, okay, which is amazing. Now I want to see if the Two of Bricks in reverse is, are you trying to balance money or are you just trying to balance a decision? possibly about money. This feels more work related, okay? Or home related. Wherever the Emperor in reverse, there's a person who has authority over you that is trying to make you do something having to do with resources. What does this Two of Bricks in reverse mean? This Two of Pentacles in reverse mean for Aries in the month of May 2025? What is this Two of Bricks in reverse mean for Aries in the month of May 2025? Hello, everybody. The Three of Cups. The three is called the Ick. Now, Three of Cups is a celebration, right? But this is the Millennial Tarot, the Ick. There's something that you don't want to do, but you have to pretend like you like it. So this, that you're wanting to do it. Somebody wants you to do something, you don't want to do it. It's you learn from the past, from the past that you shouldn't make mountains out of molehills. I think once you start doing whatever this person wants, it feels like work, but it could be any situation. Take it how it resonates. But you have to pretend, you have to front that you like it, right? Like you like a job or whatever it is. And then you have the Queen of Vibes. Baddie. Yeah, the Three of Wands. Now, the Queen of Wands. Now, the Queen of Wands is usually a best friend. This is a supporter. So you have somebody supporting you in a decision that you have to make about a new beginning. And you have to front that. In the meantime, you have to fake it till you make it. And you like something until you can make a new beginning that you control, right? So it looks like you're planning to leave a situation. You're at least considering it because someone is an Emperor in reverse. Okay? But you have a supporter. A Queen of Wands represents a fire sign and a best friend, right? Okay. So it looks like it's centered around a person that you just wish wouldn't, which should stop, being on you, So let's get the advice. Pretty straightforward month. I mean, there's not a lot of subplots. Okay. What's the advice for Aries in the month of May 2025? What is the advice for Aries in the month of May 2025? What is the advice for Aries in the month of May 2025? What's the advice for Aries in the month of May 2025? The advice is this almost feels like you should kind of lock yourself away or put up boundaries, but don't do it in such a way that you're trapped in your head. And then don't worry about it. Don't sweat the small stuff, okay? This person, you probably know their character anyway, but they're going to put pressure on you in some manner during the month of May. Now, 2 nines is the tarot cluster, mean documents. Okay. You have 2 8s. No, you don't. Okay. So that's the advice is, don't sweat it. But, you almost have to, with the 8 of Swords in the upright, you almost have to kind of lie to yourself so that you can get through this fronting, right? But again, you have a baddie in your corner, so who cares, right? And it's only for May. Right? Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to stop and come back with Taurus, okay? Thank you so much. Bye-bye.